Hey everyone, welcome to the Gaming X. Today we're taking a look at Warp Shift, available on the Nintendo eShop for $9.99. Now this is another cell phone port, which is becoming more and more commonplace on the eShop. One thing though with this one is they're charging $9.99 on the eShop, but only $4.99 on the iPhone and Android. So how do we justify this increase in cost? Is there more content? Is there better features? Is it just generally a better experience? Let's jump in and find out. Okay, so before we jump into the review, if you are new here, consider hitting subscribe. We truly appreciate all of the support we're getting from the YouTube community. So it's an option there for you if you get any value from today's video or you simply enjoy the content. We produce videos like this anywhere from 3 to 7 times a week, including reviews, news, and just general gameplay from the entire Nintendo Switch catalog. We try and cover as many new releases as possible, from the biggest of releases all the way through to those hidden gems on the eShop. With that being said, let's jump into Warp Shift and start with gameplay. So in the world of Warp Shift, you take on the role of Pi, a female character trapped within cube environments. Your aim here is to navigate Pi round the maze, moving your way towards the exit. So to do this, you shift the boxes around on screen. The tiny amount of story here tries to summarize your reasoning, shall we say, and that is to uncover a mystery around treasure in a secret chamber. It gives you very little else apart from this thin outline. Now the game builds upon the difficulty quickly, as that's typical with the puzzle genre, and before you know it, you will be required to navigate the switches to unlock boxes, match colours to pass between cubes, and meet a target number of moves to successfully achieve the full 3-star rating. It's a game built entirely for puzzle game enthusiasts, those with the dedication to keep diving in and replaying a level until they reach a perfect run. While the mechanics themselves, they work well, and the touchscreen here works exceptionally well, and that's obviously down to its past platform history. But my issue is in the repetition. This game, it shows you all its tricks nearly immediately, then it's a case of convoluting the situation to basically confuse you. So what I'm trying to say here is, this game is just more and more of the same over and over again. Basically, you're not going to be playing this one for hours on end. It's going to be more pick it up for 10 minutes here, pick it up for 10 minutes there. And that's pretty common for any puzzle game. With 75 levels contained within 5 worlds, you can expect a decent amount of content here, but that's no different to the cell phone version. Well, there is one difference. It costs more money. Something just doesn't feel right about that. If anything, for a title like this on the go, the Switch is less convenient. Now let's talk graphics, and Warp Shift's graphics are near identical to what you will find on the iPhone and Android stores. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing, because while they are, yes, low detail, we have some nice character design here in main protagonist Pi, and a world constructed of vivid colours and almost cartoonish animation. There's an overall cartoonish vibe that brings the necessary level of futuristic to match the game's core idea, shall we say. On top of this, the animation is beautifully smooth, and it was always a pleasure to watch the movement on screen. And being based across 5 worlds, you're going to find a nice selection of backgrounds additionally. They do a great job of portraying various environments that reinforce the alien nature and futuristic tone of the title and landscape. Unfortunately though, these different environments, they bring little else to the game. Finally, there's some nice visual flourishes as you get suckered into some sort of black hole in bright colour at the end of each level. But again, like much of this title, by the 10th stage, you're going to notice this is the same every single level. Unfortunately, it's in the foreground though that I had my main issues, and that's in the core mechanic itself. The cube-based environment you find yourself trapped within. The cubes themselves, they're on repeat. Every single level was the exact same thing. I mean, they could have just changed up the shape a little bit. I'm not expecting them to go too far, but they're even the same colours. The only variation you will really notice is there's an increase or decrease in the amount of them, and occasionally the colours of the gates that you need to match obviously change as well. Now, this variation, like I said, it doesn't have to change the game mechanic itself, but even a different shape isn't going to hurt. It would have been an easy way just to give us a bit of a different visual reaction, something to stimulate the brain a little bit. A bit more ambition here. It could have gone a long way, not necessarily to change the gameplay, but just for a little bit more visual variety. So finally, audio, and I've got to say it's a beautiful soundtrack here. It encapsulates the world and it supports the mellow nature of the game with tracks that reflect this mentality. A combination of light electronic with small pieces of real instrumentation, it reinforces the worlds and visuals. Sound effects are of course at a minimum here. Movement between cubes, it has a small effect, as do the end screens and menus, but it does understandably little else. It's not really necessary to have sound effects when you're floating around the air. I'm not even sure what that would sound like. Overall, it's decent work here. So the final verdict on Warp Shift, it's in no way a bad game for the genre, but it does very little groundbreaking. The puzzles, they're enjoyable in bite-sized chunks, the graphics, they're nice but nothing incredible, and the gameplay and ramping difficulty is a genre convention we would expect to see. Unfortunately, Warp Shift though does very little to grow, opting to simply overcomplicate the core concept. Graphics could have done with some upgrades to separate itself, and overall this version of the game, it brings nothing else to the table that you can't get on your phone or iPad. With that in mind, I can't completely recommend Warp Shift, and for that reason, the Gaming X awards Warp Shift a 5 out of 10. So if you're looking for a bite-sized puzzler, then this may be a good choice. Honestly, if I was reviewing this on a cell phone, it would probably be a 7, maybe even an 8 out of 10. But here on the Switch, I just can't justify that sort of score. They're asking for more money, they're not giving us anything new, and they're doing what a lot of developers seem to be doing right now. They're taking advantage of the best feature on the Switch with lazy ports, because yes, it has a touchscreen, but it doesn't mean it's a glorified cell phone. Now, as I said, for puzzle enthusiasts, I think there's something for you to like here. If you can't play this on iPad, Android, or a tablet, then consider picking it up. It's definitely fun. But if you have them options, go for the cheaper one, because you're going to get the same experience everyone else is having. With that being said, what did you guys think? Have I been fair? Have I been unfair? Am I being too harsh on this one maybe? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're new here, then consider hitting subscribe. We have videos like this every single week. That's reviews, gameplay, and news for pretty much all the new major and smaller titles on the Nintendo Switch. Thanks so much for watching, we truly appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next Gaming X.